This podcast is brought to you by Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania. Buy one window or door and get the second one at 40% off. No money down, payments, or interest for 1 year for qualified buyers. Check this deal out by visiting RBACentralPADeals.com. That's RBACentralPADeals.com, or by calling 717-836-1080. Deal ends April 30th. Pennsylvania apparently gets more money from the federal government than it pays in taxes. In Chester, the city's dire financial situation may cause it to disincorporate. PPL is willing to give you something for that old air conditioner. Lastly, this horse is looking to stir up good vibes. I'm Claudia Dimuro, and you're listening to Today in PA. The State University of New York's Rockefeller Institute recently released a report titled, quote, "Giving or Getting, New York's Balance of Payments with the Federal Government," reports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. The report takes a look at how much money each state gets from the federal government and how much they pay in taxes to, quote, "shed light on both the source of these differences and how they have changed over time." Turns out, from 2015 to 2021, Pennsylvania got over $416 billion more from the federal government than its residents and businesses paid in federal taxes. Explains the report's co-author and executive director at the Institute, Laura Schultz. While Pennsylvania doesn't have the kind of high-income taxpayers states like New York do, it does have a lot of residents getting federal assistance, such as the elderly. It also received a hefty amount from that $1.9 trillion coronavirus stimulus law. Only 3 states fared better than Pennsylvania with regards to getting over giving: Virginia, Florida, and Texas. The city of Chester is in pretty dire financial straits, reports Why. So dire, in fact, that it may actually stop being a city. City officials stated during Tuesday's virtual Municipal Financial Recovery Advisory Committee meeting that disincorporation is very much a possibility for Chester, which was declared by former Governor Tom Wolf to be in a fiscal emergency 3 years ago. City receiver Michael Dowery filed for bankruptcy on behalf of the city in November, something that city officials continue to try to block from happening, and the city will have a quote-unquote insurmountable deficit in funds in 2025 if it doesn't take action. Dowery believes a plan of adjustment is necessary to keep this disincorporation from becoming a reality. Says his chief of staff, Vijay Kapoor, quote, "We are running out of time." PPL Electric Utilities is willing to take those old air conditioners and dehumidifiers off your hands, states PennLive. This Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Harrisburg Area Community College, PPL will be accepting either of the 2 appliances you'd like to recycle. In return, it'll give you a $10 rebate check in the mail for each, with no limit to how many appliances you give. PPL, by the way, also offers free at-home pickup for working older fridges and freezers. You'd get a $50 rebate in the mail for either of those. Seems like he'd like to stir up some good vibes, says Lehigh Valley Live. Former Bethlehem Mounted Police horse George retired recently. But just because he's in retirement doesn't mean he won't stay active. George will make his way up to Nazareth to start working at Equilibrium, get it? A therapeutic horsemanship center. Here he'll be taking on the responsibility of being a therapy horse to people of all ages with physical, developmental, and behavioral challenges. He was donated to the center by the Friends of the Bethlehem Mounted Police, who admit parting with George was, quote, bittersweet. That wraps up today's episode. For even more Pennsylvania news and otherwise, visit PennLive.com. And please remember to rate this podcast and to maybe even leave it a review, should you be willing and able. Thanks ahead of time, and as always, thanks for listening. I'm Claudia Dimuro, and I'll talk to you during Friday's episode of Today in PA. This podcast is brought to you by Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania. Buy one window or door and get the second one at 40% off. No money down, payments, or interest for 1 year for qualified buyers. Check this deal out by visiting RBACentralPADeals.com. That's RBACentralPADeals.com, or by calling 717-836-1080. Deal ends April 30th.